I want to start with something. So I went away for a couple of days to surprise a friend. And while I was there, I had the opportunity to be a couch potato. I've never, ever done that before, where I just sat on the couch with these two people for a whole day and just talked. It was so interesting. Anyway, and just talk about listening, right, and hearing and all of that. But at one point they said, would you like to watch this show? Have you ever watched a show called The Voice? Has anybody watched it? Okay. I had never watched it before. And so I said, sure, of course. We're just sitting here and blah, blah, blah. So I just want to say something. If you don't know the show, it was the one where they have to be blind, so they turn their chairs and all they do is hear. They just listen. And if they hear what they want to hear, these three judges, they turn their chair and the person gets a point or whatever. I'm not going to go into all the things. But what I saw and what I'd like to say about hearing and listening was how they were listening. What were they listening for? It wasn't just the person's voice and what they were singing. It wasn't even whether they had a good voice or not. It was what they were feeling. And by not looking and just hearing, they could hear at a level that was deeper than you could ever, experience when you're in judgment, like, oh, that person's this or that, and they look like that, and look at the way they're opening their mouth, and blah, blah, blah. All they were able to do was listen. And I thought, how powerful that is, because what were they listening for? They were listening for the person's heart and how they were expressing the song and what the truth of them was, that they could hear without seeing. And could we do that? Not turn our backs and close our eyes, but could we listen totally with our hearts? Could we listen and not hear the words that somebody was saying, but actually hear their very heart? And I say yes. I say yes, we can. We don't have to close our eyes to do that. We just have to take the moment to get out of judgment and actually really hear what somebody's saying to us. And I believe that the top way of doing that is by us knowing who and what we are, that we're coming from a place of being love, being God, not listening, like not hearing no evil, but looking for truth, like hearing for truth, like listening for truth instead of that. And I feel like the only way we can do that is if we're coming from that place. That's the only way we'll really, truly hear it. And there's like a lot of things being shouted at us right now, and we all have different opinions about our candidates and all of that stuff, and that's okay. We all have different opinions, but I'm wondering in the world whether we're really hearing from our hearts what's being said, and are we acting from that place? Are we thinking from that place? Are we making our choices from that place, which is what next month is about? And are we really stepping into our God self, our loving, loving God self, and what that projects out into the world, what we want to have as our life? Are we really listening from that place? As we listen to our friends and the people we associate with, as we listen to our children, as we listen to our politicians, as we listen to each and every part of creation, which is actually God expressing, and are we really hearing what they're saying? And sometimes we can get tied up in hearing what we want to hear. I know I do that, like hearing what we want to hear, right? So if somebody says something, we hear what we want to hear, but we're not really thinking, we're just hearing what we want to hear, so we translate what they're saying into what we want to hear. And I don't think that's what this is about. I think this is really about turning that all off and listening from a place of love to each and every one of our brothers and sisters. And the only way we can do that is if we know our own identity, and which is what this whole teaching is about. This whole teaching is about knowing that we're God, knowing that we're expression, and that we live in this quantum field where, as Eric was saying, what we visualize, what we listen to, all of that is collapsing energy in every single solitary moment. So that's why I say it's possible for us to have peace before my lifetime's over. I'm knowing that, I'm seeing that, I'm feeling that, I'm hearing that. And I think that that's really what I want to say, is that place of knowing that God is right where we are, love is right where we are, and that as we listen from that place, we'll be able to solve any problem we think we might have, because we'll be hearing the truth and we'll be knowing what to do, because we'll really truly be listening. When I was a long time ago, and I love this phrase, because I was just going through a time of turmoil in my life, and I was walking and I heard the voice. We've all heard the voice. We don't hear it maybe every day, but we hear it when it speaks loudly to us. And it said, and there was stuff going on in the world and stuff going on in my life, and it said, "Stay close to me, I'm here." And I started crying, because I realized there was something within me that would never leave me, no matter what. And if I could open myself up to staying quiet and really listening and hearing, I would hear that truth. And I heard that truth, "Stay close to me, I'm here." And it shifted everything in my life. And anytime I'm going through something, I take a deep breath and I hear that voice, "Stay close to me, I'm here." And I can't think of anything more powerful than that. So I will close with a quote by my dear, dear, dear mentor, Ernest Holmes. He said, "The ear is the representation of a receptive capacity of mind, an attitude of quietness and confidence. A listening attitude will open the way for the voice of spirit to speak to the inner ear. We can train our ears to listen to the divine harmony within, that we shall reproduce its melody, its rhythm, and beauty in all of our ways." And so it is.